Welcome everyone, today we have a new guide for Zenless Zone 0. So in this video, we'll be going through a lot of detailed notes with the Gacha system, with all the system related to Gacha, including the guarantee for S-rank character, the 20% discount, and also everything that's related to the refunding and also getting additional summons, how many duplicates of characters can you have, and also what are the price and also best buys for the discounted and also standard summons. Together with additional notes on the counter tracking system, which is going to be dynamic and also provide us with more details of how many characters before you get your next A rank and also S rank character. We'll also be going through the 50-50 and everything that's related to the Gacha system for ZZZ. Now, because I have prepared a lot of notes, I thought it's better we start with a summary. So here we have some frequently asked questions related to Gacha games and also ZZZ particularly. The first question a lot of viewers were asking me is this game similar to Genshin and also Honkai Star Rail? Well, the short answer is yes. You'll be summoning for 10 summons with 1,600 currencies. And what you're looking at is there's also a refund system, which we'll talk about later. Similar to getting additional characters in Genshin Impact, you can then use those currencies for buying additional summons within the refund shop. So now the next question is, what is different in ZZZ? There will be additional summons because there's a pet system. At the moment, during the beta, it is believed that the coupon tickets, which are those items over here, notice we talked about that in the previous video, those particular tickets that you get from events and also additional game launch special rewards, you can use those to summon pets. Now, pets will provide character with special passives and also actives. This will increase the damage and also survivability of your other 3 characters, which combines into a 4-man team, with 3 characters and also 1 pet. Currently, pets ranges from B rank to A rank, but it's very likely, guys, in the future, we may see an S rank pet that's coming in the future, and that could be quite interesting. Now, because some of you have played Genshin Impact, if you remember the Noel banner, which there was a 20 summon beginners banner, with ZZZ, there will be 50 discounted summons at 20% discount. So basically, you're spending the currency to summon 40, but you're getting 50 summons. There is also additional benefit for summoning on this banner. This will be a standard banner, so this is a permanent banner. But this will guarantee a S-rank character within the 50 discounted summons. And this, of course, brings us to the bigger question, how do you reroll for ZZZ? Which we'll talk about briefly on the second part. Now, finally, is there anything special about ZZZ's new Gacha system? Well, for the new Gacha system, there is a dynamic counter system, which will be visualized and also shows you each time you summon for 1 character. And when that happens, this will show you how many summons and also how many pools you're left to get your next A rank and also S rank character, which is really good, but there's more things I want to discuss in the future videos about the soft pity, about ways to use this one in more effectiveness together with the rerolls. Now, because not all of us will be planning the reroll, we'll touch up on reroll on the second part. We'll come back to those notes. So diving into our notes in a little more details. You can see this is one of the limited banners with Ilan over here. Now, if I try to enlarge this picture a little bit, what you can see is it's not much bigger, right? So there is a limited date to the limited banner, of course, and you can see there's times and also times, which shows you how many summons to go before you get your next summon. Don't worry, we'll talk about those in more details. Right now, what we want to know is 160 of the currency equals to 1 summon, and then 10 summons equals to 1,600, and this is the standard formula. Now, during the Gacha system for ZZZ, players will be summoning for characters, which ranges from A rank to S rank, and players will be summoning for weapons and also pets. So this is a very similar rate which accumulates up to a certain point. So notice the rate starts with 0.6%, and then this accumulates to 1.6% because of the soft pity system. And for the A rank characters, this starts with 7.2% and accumulates up to 13%. For those of you that doesn't understand the accumulation and also how the soft pity works, we'll have a video to talk about this and we'll be doing some testings, but at the moment it's around 76 summons before you get your S rank character. So to take away from those rates over here, what you want to understand is if you're summoning for S rank limited character, there is a 50% chance of getting this character each time you summon. So the 5-star character rate is going to be 0.6%. And likely you expect to summon 70 to 80 times before you get a chance of the limited character. And of course, there's a 50-50 system that we'll discuss in the end, which can be a little tricky if you don't understand this. And similar to most of the miHoYo games, there will be two banners that will be available. There will be the limited banner, and then you're going to see there will be a standard banner. So the next question is, why would anyone summon on the standard banner? Well, the game has a very interesting system. At the first launch of the game and also as a first starter account, you'll be enjoying 20% discount on your first 50 summons on the standard banner. And this means whenever you get currency for the standard banner summons, you should be summoning here because it is cheaper. There's also accumulation for a guarantee for S-rank character, ranging from all the S-rank characters that's available on the standard banner. This is within 50 summons. Most of the players expect to get this on the last few summons, but if you're planning to reroll, you might get those characters much earlier. Now over here, we do have some additional notes if you guys want to read up. So here you can see how the discount works with summoning characters on the standard banner and also the 50th guarantee for the standard banner. This is a great system to make sure everyone at least have one really good, unique, playable character. But of course, different characters will serve differently. That's why in the next video, we'll look into a tier list on the best characters on the standard banner to be getting from your guarantee. Now, I mentioned earlier, there is a refund system. So in ZZZ, this is called the Signal Shop. This is very similar to the Star Glinter shop with Genshin Impact. So whenever you get summons, you get characters, you'll be getting different amount of Star Glinter. And this is pretty much a 5 to 10% cashback if you look at how this works. So how does the Star Glinter or how does the Signal works? So whenever you summon S rank, A rank or B rank character or item, you'll be getting additional residual signals from 2, 10 to 50. Now for most cases, you'll be getting most of the B rank items and maybe sometimes A rank items. It is much more rare to get S rank items, but let's look into some calculation after this part. Now while getting duplicate characters, the most useful duplicated character is going to be up to 7 duplicates. After getting your 8th duplicate and onwards, you'll be getting additional residual sigils or residual signals. So here, this is a small summary. If you guys are waiting for the game and getting a lot of duplicates, you want maximum 7 different duplicates. And here are some of the notes for this one. So how does the residual signal shop work? So if you come over to the shop, you can see there's a variety of items. The two biggest items you should be focusing on are the limited banner and also standard banner summons. There are two versions of this. So this screenshot shows the standard version, which costs 40 signals to buy those. There's also 50% discounted version, which only have limited 5 stocks. And those will be available for 20 signals. And you can see those are sold out. So let me show you guys over here. So over here you can see, as you summon for characters, you'll be getting signals or residual signals. Those items will in return allow you to do additional summons. And this is very useful to get your limited banner character and focus on this. And if you do have spare currency, you can then go for the standard banner character and try to get your additional signals and try to get your additional pities towards a 50 free limited character for the S rank character. Now, if you have played Genshin Impact, this is quite straightforward. Every month, you'll be buying the limited and also standard banner summons, which are discounted with 50% discount. Now, in order to give you guys a better calculation, so how does the refund system work? So as we summon for characters, normally it will cost 40 residual signals to summon for one character, while the discounted ones are 20 each. So let's say if we're doing 10 summons and there's a chance of getting B rank, A rank or S rank coming from the residual signals after doing 10 summons. But in reality guys, as you do 10 summons, it's likely you get, let's say, maybe 9 of the B rank summons and maybe 1 of the A rank summon. And this is the minimal luck. And this is the more realistic case if you're doing 10 summons. So how does the refund work? Is that, let's use the example, if we do 20 summons, then 20 summons, the 18 summons out of the 20 summons, likely you'll only get 2 of those available as the A rank summon, and then 18 of those as the B rank summon. And this will in return give us 56 residual signal. So let me come back over here. You can see how you get residual signal. And here I'm doing a realistic and also minimalistic approach to see the refund system. Now, after getting your 56 residual signal, you can then come back to the residual shop to be buying for those items for additional summons. And this is why I say this is a refund shop, because technically you're getting 5 to 10% cashback refund. And this allows you to do maybe 2 or 3 additional summons, depending how many discounted summons you have in the shop. And don't worry guys, once the game launches, I'll show you guys and also demonstrate how to use this one to do your rerolls and also get additional summons. So just to show you guys over here, you can see this is a limited banner summon and this item costs 20 residual signals. And you can see that there is a time limit on this item because every month this will reset. And usually players will be buying those monthly to get most of the summons. Now during this time, there's a lot of other items that may be tempting in the residual shop, but unless you guys are whaling, I don't recommend buying experience. You can buy experience, you can buy dennies, which are like zennies, you can buy experience for characters, weapons, and also pets. But those are not that valuable compared to the additional summons you can get out of those shops. Now as we keep going, we do have additional system for ZZZ, and this is quite nice of a system. So here we'll be looking into the countdown tracking system. This is quite straightforward because the game says there is a guaranteed A rank character or A rank item after 10 pull, and a guaranteed S rank after 90 pulls. So at the start of each of the banners, you can see a 10 and also 90 over here. As you summon once, you'll see this counter goes down by 1. So this goes from 10 to 9 and also 90 to 89. That's if you don't get an A rank or S rank. This will, of course, will reset if you do get a particular item. So we can see on this example, after getting an S rank agent Reina, you can see the pity counter goes back to 90. This is a very nice pity counter, which allows players to keep a track and also understand how many summons they are up to for the guaranteed hard pity. Now there is a soft pity, but this will take a little longer to explain. So at the moment, let's stick to this for now. But once we tested the soft pity, which is around 76, we'll talk about this in more details. Now finally, a lot of players coming from Genshin Impact and also Honkai Star Rail are asking about the 50-50 system. There will be a 50-50 for ZZZ, and this works exactly as intentional. So if a player does not get the limited character, which on the first banner likely is going to be Elin, if you don't get her on the first time, the next time will guarantee the limited banner character. And should you not have enough summons on this banner, this will carry forward onto the next limited banner. Now that we covered most of the things with ZZZ and also the Gatcha system, let's come over to the second part briefly about how to reroll for ZZZ. Don't worry guys, we'll have a reroll guide that's more details. So how you want to look into rerolls is that this might take 20 to 30 minutes. And yes, this is still worth it if you want to have several options. Because the standard banner is discounted, you can be summoning on the standard banner and try to get towards your 50 guarantee for S rank character. But because we're getting 23 summons from the standard banner character, if you have seen our previous video, we talk about this. So let me zoom up over here. You can see in the previous video, you get 23 summons upon logging into the game and after getting a certain level in the game, which will take at least 20 to 30 minutes. But getting those 23 summons means that you can be rerolling for several options. Well, the first option is quite straightforward. You can be rerolling on your 23 summons for a guarantee for S rank character that's coming from the standard banner. Because those summons are the standard banner ones, you can't really get anything from the limited banner. But if you use the refund system, you have a small chance of getting an S rank character on the limited banner. This will of course be the ultimate reroll option. And finally, you can also reroll for a better S rank character on the standard banner. Because there will be several characters that is available on the standard banner, you might get a character that is not great in dealing damage. And for a starting character account, you want one of the stronger characters that is on the top of the tier list. So in the future video, we'll talk about which characters you should be looking for on the standard banner, similar to the look back in Genshin Impact that was really powerful. Having one of those characters can really push you forward as you start the game on the launch. So hopefully you guys found this guide helpful. It did take me a while to write all the notes and also to get all the information, and I have the notes available in the links below. And in the future, as we collect more information, you're going to see a mega guide combined with all the guides and also all the notes related to our ZZZ notes and also guides.